And a warm welcome back to Boat Extras. I think this is going to be Boat Extras 39 from memory. Nevertheless, doesn't really matter. It is Friday. I think it's the 21st of August, but that doesn't matter either. What we're doing today, or what we're setting off this video for, thank you very much for persevering. August was an exceptionally busy month for me. I know we're still in it, but nevertheless it was. I had my own birthday to contend with, my son's birthday, and there was various other people that also had birthdays as well. So it has been quite a compact time, and I've had a few days away. I've been to London. As you know, I ended up bringing a bear back, and I had to fix the bear, so that took a while to do. So anyway, perseverance, we've got up here in the end, and we're going to be doing some work. Now then, I know the last time that I spoke to you and we did a video, we were concentrating on the dashboard, this area in particular, redoing the lettering, etc. The reason why we're not going to be continuing with that today is because we need to have those clocks checked and what have you. That is something that I need to do. And also we've added the other clocks that used to be there and there. One I found out now that was the original clock that had the hours for the engine, that had the numbers that were written here when somebody had obviously bought it, and they bought it at those particular hours. Anyway, I'm going to try and get that to work, because I'm not so sure whether that did work originally. And there was another one as well. And also I've got to decide what I'm going to do. Yes, I think it was Ian that possibly mentioned it. I can't remember, of having them re-chromed. But to be honest, Ian, I'm thinking that, I mean, if you looked at the ones that are closely, they are split in quite a number of places. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I should just spray them, because I'm struggling to find new ones for it, because they're just an odd size. Just typical, isn't it? An odd size. You'd think that they were generically right, but they're not. They're not. So with that said, that's just going to have to sit there for a little bit longer, and I'm going to concentrate on what's going on in the cockpit area, because ultimately it's not really a waste of time, because you know where that center console is, that console is going to go, all that area, that corner, needs to be sorted anyway. So let's go aboard and discuss what this episode's going to be all about. So with that said, grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, and I'll meet you aboard. Bye for now. And welcome aboard. So what are we going to do? Well, this area needs doing. That needs facing in something rather nice. Not all of it, because it's going to be covered up, but nevertheless this needs to be done. This area foundationally needs ripping out and starting again. So all this has got to come out, all this, even this, although it's pretty firm, I must admit. But do I start with a blank canvas? Yes, I'm going to start with a blank canvas. That's coming out. Let's get it all done properly. And the mirror image of it, or this side, that's all going to come out right to that end, because I think what we should do is we should treat this in two halves. So I think this should be done to a level, and then this area should be done separate. Now whether I put something across there or not to divide the two, I don't know, because I'm still in two minds whether to have some sort of access to this area. And I think if we do this first, it won't interfere with that area there, because it's broke up at the back here anyway, because we've got the seating, as you can see over there. That's all those over there are the original seats. And I think, I don't know where the back is. Where's the main back section? That must be over there somewhere. I can't see it from here, but I think that's could be over there. popping through behind the cover. That's the actual cover itself. And then the frame, as you can see, is over there on the wall in the distance. Over there. So everything's scattered about, never been touched for 10 years. So eventually we'll be able to pull all those out and see where it all goes. Hopefully it'll give us clues to where everything fits. I'm going to have it all reupholstered anyway, but that costs money. But at the moment, money is tight because of all that's been going on. So I've not been able to spend money on the boat. I've had to, you know, deal with birthdays and holidays and things like that. So I've had to split things up a bit. But anyway, we're back on the boat. And this isn't going to cost too much to do because, you know what, I've got all the wood I need. So, you know, I think we'll be good to go by doing this. So that's the episode. I'll get all my ducks in a row. I'll start dismantling all this. And, well, you'll join me when I've done some work. Bye for now. So, as I was saying before, the battery rudely put a halt to me yapping away. It was difficult to figure out how to do it. So while I was changing the battery, I decided, do you know what, let's make a template and then we'll cut some ply out and we can always offer it up just to see how it actually goes in place. Because at the end of the day, I can do a lot of umming and ahhing and guesswork and a lot of theory thinking. But at some point I'm going to have to make a decision on tackling it somehow. Even if it sacrifices some ply, I've got to sort of try and do something in order to trigger an idea that may be in my head that I don't know about yet, which is how this boat has always taken place. Anyway, enough waffle. There you go. I've made a template out of my favourite material, which is 1000 grade wall lining paper that is cheaply available from any DIY store. It just makes that difference in being able to manipulate it without it falling all around you. It's stiff enough to be able to stay in place, as you can see. So I've done a template of the thickness of the return, which is there, and I will stick some more along there, and then that then gives me enough of a template in order to cut a rough piece of ply out. That just drops ever so, I mean, it's about, there you are, that's the end of it, that's the end of it there. So it doesn't matter if it comes down a little bit more, we can maneuver it and manipulate it. But I want to see how a chosen thickness of ply just sits on this flat piece and tucking in here. We can always pack it out, but I want to see how it sits, because this, as I said to you before, I don't know whether it came on before it shut down, but the angle is slightly inwards, so it needs to be bent into position, and I'm hoping that because it does need bending, and if it's anchored at the bottom, then it will hold itself firmly in place all the way along. So there we go. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to get some more paper. I'm running out of it, so I need to go and get some more, which is okay. We don't mind going to B&Q, the most expensive place in the world. And we'll see how we can, well, I also need to find a piece of ply that's going to be big enough, I suppose. I'm hoping I've got enough over there. So with that said, it's now 3:45. I'll do a little bit more, and I may see you in the morning. Bye for now. And a warm welcome back. It is August the 24th at 4:20 in the afternoon, so it is a bit of a late one. Well, in fact, I have been here a couple of hours, scratching my head, debating what I'm going to do with this. So I've chopped up a piece of waste ply. This is 12mm thick, and because of the two different depths, I'm thinking, well, I'm trying one way to start with, and that is what you can see there. Obviously there is a channel there where it can fit into it, and then my idea was, if I can do this one-handed, is to sort of somehow go like that, like so, and have a step. Obviously it's got to be a step of some form or another. Have it like that, and then do something with that edge, like put a bead on it or something of that nature, because as I said, I did try having this this piece was one, and it just would not go under there, and it came sticking out quite a long way, so it was obvious that it wouldn't go together. So I think we're going to have to work it in pieces rather than all in one piece. So if I go down this route, the next question is, how do I adhere it to the thin carcass of this boat? Because I can't just drill a hole in it and screw it to it, because there's very little depth in this ply. So I'm going to obviously have to put in some fillets in here somewhere in order to attach these to it. So if I pull that down, there a minute, we've also got, just to make life that little bit more awkward, we have screws coming in here which obviously hold, I think that's the grab rail on the other side. So they're going to have to stay, because even if I cut them down, I don't want for 1 minute these pulling through, because I've sliced some of this off. I might be able to slice a bit off, to be honest, and then in fact probably I could, thinking about it, I could take it to the thickness of, say, this 12mm ply, so then the ply fillets can go down here this way, and then stick that piece or screw it to that piece. You can see that there's also these little things here that are sort of in the way as well, so it's not a smooth surface to play on. But if I put the fillets here and it's 12mm thick, obviously it's not going to interfere with those there, so I could put maybe one down there, one in between there, one there, and then one on the edge of here. So I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to fiberglass tab those in place. I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use the waste of this 4x2 sheet of 4mm ply. I'm going to cut strips of this and put them there. So it's a bit of a messy job. I'll start it, and well, you'll be back when I'm sort of muddling through. So until then, well, it's just going to be a page flick, isn't it, for you? I've just thought, so you're not even going to be waiting that long. So I'll see you on the flip side of this little tiny break. Bye for now. Right, I've just cut some strips up, and I think if I fiberglass those flat against the areas that I can go flat, such as there, there, and one tucked in there, because it finishes sort of round here, and I need to make sure that I get enough so I can put a new a piece in that end there, and also finally that there, because at the top here, up there, that curves around, so it would bring the ply out a bit, so it needs to be roughly about there. That's the reason why it's short there. But these are just literally things to screw into. So if I get that stuck on there, that one there, and one there, we'll see how that looks. We'll put that on it, and then we'll see how that overall looks, because that is not going to be the finished article. We're going to place something nice on top of that. I've no idea what yet, but something will be nice that goes on top of it. So there we go. So until I've stuck those in place, you go and do what you need to do, and I shall get this on here. See you in a minute. Okay, so things have set fairly quickly because I put quite a lot of hardener in it because I wanted to get it to set. So before I went home tonight, I was able to put a couple of mock pieces up to see whether it's going to, well, the vision I had would aesthetically look good. The jury is out at the moment, but it's not bad. So there you are. So it's well anchored. These have taken very well. So there's got one where you see this blue tape is a strut going down, a fillet of 12mm actually, offcuts of this going down that way. They've set pretty quickly, and I've also put some fillets along here just in small pieces, just to see how I could anchor the bottom lip. Now originally I thought maybe we could go down to where it molds, you know, down to there, and then have a gap. But I thought, well, if I move it up to that line, that swage line there, roughly there anyway, I could continue that line, but it also then gives me chance to screw this board into that one and into the fillet behind, thus giving it some rigidity. So that was my thought. It is on a slight angle. I don't know whether you can tell from there, but it does slowly sort of chamfer away, which I don't think's too, you know, it's a boat, it's on an angle, it is what it is. So my theory is whatever we cover it with, we then put something like a sort of a half moon, a quadrant, or whatever they call them, I forgot, a bead, something like that. That's my thought, just to soften the flow from one depth to another. Ignore the fact that it's a gap there, it doesn't matter because there's something going over the top of it. I've yet to decide what's going over the top of it, but it's obviously got to look good. But I'm going to sleep on that. I'm going to take a couple of pictures and just keep looking at it to see if I can improve on that. But my first thoughts are that I don't dislike it. I think it looks okay, because I've got to remember that, you know, weather-wise, water coming in is going to drip over, and it's going to drip onto there, and then it's going to drip down. So, you know, there is an element of would water damage the top of this. There's a possibility of that being the case. If it was a bit more flush, you know, would it be better? I don't know. I know there's a cover going over it, but it's a boat with all said and done. You know, there's bound to be an ingress of water somewhere. So I'm going to just chew that over overnight and then decide what I'm going to do. I'll be back here tomorrow to do a bit more and maybe continue along there. I do need to get some more 12mm, I haven't got any, so that's another job I've got to do. So there we go. So far it's sort of okay. I'm not saying that's going to be the final result, but it's sturdy enough. You know, there's no wobble or anything like that, so that's absolutely cool. And once you've got the console in and you've got, you know, everything, it should, you know, take shape. I could obviously put a section in there as well, because as I say, it's all going to be covered. Right, enough of the waffle. I'm going to go home for my tea. So until tomorrow, have a good evening, and I'll see you later. Right, welcome back. It is Tuesday, is it? Yeah, it's Tuesday, the 25th of August. So, now that I've had time to sleep on it, and I've got some more ply, I've had time to think about ways of making it look good, and I think I've come up with a good idea. So, that is the theme I'm going to do around here, down here and up here. That is what I'm going to do. So we'll plough on, we'll get that little bit done. Whoops. We'll get that little bit done there, and then we'll move on and we'll do some more of this. We'll put some more fillets across here, and we'll take it to the very end, and we'll continue that theme with 12mm going along there. So I will do that now, and well, you will see my progress very shortly. Bye for now. Okie dokie. So, up to now we've got that up there. That's tucked up in the corner there. And now we've got that on, and we've got that on. Now I'm thinking there's a high chance, because these are all screwed in place, that that area will be a mirror image of this area here. So I think I'm inclined to make things a little bit quicker by unscrewing these and literally redoing those same shape, same size, and put it over there. But I'll double check to make sure that it is the same size, because at the end of the day it's a 70s boat. Who knows? But it can't be that far out anyway. So I think that looks okay from here. We've got the nice swage line that's hitting there, which is good. We can adapt that. And we've got a nice level underneath. Now obviously we're going to have to come down here some way, because this all needs covering as well, because there's going to be fuel pipe going down to the fuel tank eventually. So I need to make some brackets and frames to go underneath there, but I don't think I need to do that yet until we get the tub back in place, and we can't put the tub back in place until we put the Perkins back in place. So everything is now coming to a point whereby we have to sort the engine out, which is not that far down the line. So I think the next job is to do these areas here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to, as I've just explained, copy those and rip all this out and do the same over there. So stay tuned and we'll get on with that next. Bye for now. And a good afternoon to you. It is August the 26th, it is a Wednesday, and we are back doing these side panels. So what I'm currently doing is taking these off. I've tried that one over on that side and it fits, it mirror images it perfectly. So there's no reason why this baby won't mirror image the other side. So I'm going to take that one off, and that one off, take them down there and cut some sheets up in order to make a complete mirror image on that side. And then I'm going to take these off. I'm debating whether to leave those on, and so I'm going to screw into them and I'm going to see if they work. I mean, they are pretty good, and it might save me doing that there like I've done all the way along, even though I might need those anyway to put a piece going that way. or making some sort of structure to do this lower section. I'm not so sure yet. I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to get those in position there, and then I can make good that side if and when I need to. So there you go. Quick update as I'm motivated to plough on and get that side done today. So grab yourself a cup of tea. You've earned it. And a warm welcome back. It is now 4 o'clock. So what have we done? Well, I'll tell you what, we've motored. We've got those all back in place. They're all nicely sorted. The only thing I'm not happy about is that that isn't lining up with that. So I'm going to have to just lower it a little bit in order to satisfy my eye, because that is going to bug me. Whereas on this side, that is nicely straight and everything is all in place. Everything is glued behind with the new fillets behind it and everything. So actually everything has run really smoothly on this side, and thank God that those were ideal as a mirror for those, because that has saved a lot of time. So I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat these, because these are going to be external. Yes, it is hardwood, but nevertheless I think it would be prudent at this stage just to give it a coat of something that will protect it, just in case water does ingress behind it. So that is going to be my next step. If I can find a sponge, I shall use a bit of oil and I shall treat those there. So we're motoring on nicely. So I'll get that sorted now, and I will see you very shortly. Bye for now. So I'm going to use some of this Danish oil. It's clear and it's matte, and it's suitable for anything that's indoor or outdoor for that matter. And I'm just going to whop this on. With a sponge, just to give it a bit of, I'll just give it a bit of a help. Yes, there's going to be something over the top of it, but water has a canny knack of getting into everything. So if you give it a fighting chance, I think it won't do it any harm, and it won't affect, if I put glue to put the next surface on, whatever that may be, it shouldn't affect that either. So go. Right, let's move you out of the way. Worn gloves with this, to be honest, but hey ho, at least we're getting something. I'll probably, you won't see it where you are, but there's a little, this one here, this joint, it's just slightly proud at the top there. I'll use a grinder just to grind that off, because I want it smooth, or should I say I want it flat, for whatever goes on the top of there. I don't want any air gaps for one, because I don't want any water to go in it, so it has to be like that. Anyway, we'll just move over to this side now. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Properly covered in it now. What's the better? I've got no cloth. Oh, I do believe I've got one. Marvellous. Sticky there that may be. Right, that's done now. Thrown a bit on there. I think that's just going to give it that extra bit of protection. As you can see, we've got a full cover going on there, so there's no real well, I don't know whether there's a, no, I don't think there is. I think there's the cover goes all the way across there, but we'll wait and see. And also we don't have to deal with that just yet, simply because, you know, once the tub is in place, once the engine's in place, then we've got to sort out some compartments and access to the engine for servicing, etc. So that's not far down the line now, isn't this area. We're slowly getting to the point where the engine has to be inspected, which well, like I say, I can't see, you know, it's not that many episodes before we're going to have to address that. And I think also we need to get the tub in order to establish where the next lot of ply goes as well, because I'm not going to put this section in next, because A, I've obviously got fuel tanks to go in, and there's quite a lot of work to be done before that lot gets put in. So all we can do at this stage is do this. We've obviously got to address the condition of these. You know, it's only been painted to a certain point, which probably was a mistake now, because this paint, although new, it is now weathered and faded, so I've got an issue with that. So when I put the new on, it's going to look like chalk and cheese, so that was a mistake. I should have properly done the whole lot I may even have to do the upper section all over again. I don't know, depends on how bad the colour match is going to be with paint that I've not even got in stock. I used it all up, so it's not like it's you know, it's not like it's new paint, old paint, if you know what I mean. I'm going to have to reorder some, so there's a chance that, you know, it's going to be completely different. So it might be another whole repaint, which I'm not really looking forward to. But, you know, these are the things you make mistakes by. You know, you crack on thinking you're doing the right thing, but, you know, if you skip stages of doing a boat, then you pay the consequence of it afterwards. And I think the painting aspect of it is exactly the one of the big things that I've got to do it all again, even the blue for that matter, because as you know, many years ago I painted the hull on the outside. I got lots of views on that, and ended up having to sand it down and whatnot, and only just got the rubbing straights done on this side of the boat, so it is what it is. So there we go. I think I might, now it's approaching 5 o'clock, I think I might just put this one on, because as you already know, there was another one that's on, nothing to do with a boat, of course. It was the bear, which I put on. I'm thinking of adding another channel, because although you see me doing this boat, and you've seen on the odd occasions me doing other little jobs and what have you, I do other little jobs, and I'm thinking I might just do like a side channel, so when I do these projects that are not related to boats, I can put them on that one as well, because they are interesting, some of them are, and I very rarely say no to doing a job, because I like challenging myself. You know, that bear that I did, never done anything like that before, and I quite like the challenge of seeing whether I can fix it and make it look good, and I'm hoping that now that you've seen it, you can see that it was a pretty good job, so though I say it myself. So with that said, I'm going to put this online, because you've waited long enough. I think it must be 4, even 5 weeks now, and I will see you in the next one, and thank you very much for persevering. Please like, please subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye for now.